The killer's meeting, man, she know get it right. But ain't no cat to say my home, leaving late at night. Gone. Push the pedal down on 101, I blew the engine on. Put that pistol line, dummy, cause some automatic rounds. All I need is 30 seconds, getting shot, my stripping sound. Ain't no legs up in my section, I don't know I'm getting gone. Trials and tribulations shaped the motherfucker. Just my bills alone will probably break a motherfucker. Let the status down, stacking papers in the letter. I can get on sentimental, keep on calling every day. Keep on calling on my phone, I need money really, I don't need a bitch. And in casino, shawty, I be stacking shit, Costa Rica.
Gotta put my chair up real quick. Right. Alright, yo guys, what's up? Gotta fix my color real quick, actually. Oh, might be a little bit tight here. Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy, the Geeky Gangster here, coming guys today with another video. And as many of you guys know, I dropped out of the presidential race a couple months ago to ensue gambling as my full-time job. I'm gambling full-time now. However, still, with people who have dropped out of the presidential race and with other celebrities, everybody is curious to know who they're voting for and who they're endorsing in all these different elections. Because, you know, you have people like me, you have people like Chappelle, Rome, and it's like everybody is looking up to us and wanting to know who we're voting for. And so we have a due diligence to let you guys know who we're voting for. And guys, the Michigan ballot is absolutely gigantic. We have 4 different pages worth of ballots. Michigan actually just dropped the ballots on us, I think 4 or 5 days ago now, which is pretty exciting stuff. And so we're just going to be taking a look through the ballot. I think I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way to the top so we can have an epic finale instead of just starting at the top and dying out as far as the exciting elections go. And so I'm going to start off at the bottom of the ballot and work my way out to the top of the ballot. And let's just see what we have here. Wow, I think these screenshots all got fucked up. Wait, okay. What else was I going to say? And guys, make sure that if you live in a swing state, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Wisconsin, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, any of the states that could turn, make sure you go out and vote. If you don't live in a state that could turn, if your state's like 20 points safe, just stay home and enjoy a Sunday. But you know what? I gotta, as the celebrity that I am, it's my due diligence to encourage you guys to vote. I'm voting for every single one of these fuckers. Every single race on here, I'm voting for at least one guy. At least one. Without further ado, let's get into the bottom of the ballot. We have board member for River Valley Schools. I'm going to dox myself in this video, by the way. It'll be pretty easy to guess where I live after this. Board member for River Valley Schools. We have Jennifer Aldering going up against Jen Straffling. Both of these people are not party affiliated according to the ballot. I did look both of them up on Facebook before making this decision, and it seemed like I personally vibed more with Jen Straffling, so I'm going to be giving my political endorsement to Jen Straffling, the Geeky Gangster's second political endorsement of the year after endorsing Sam Hyde for president, but he's not on the ballot this year, so I am going to be giving a different presidential endorsement later on in the video. Going on into endorsement number 2, we have a board member for Lakeshore School District. This is going to be a 6-year term, guys, so whoever I pick is going to be serving for 6 damn years on the school board, making decisions for the future of our city. And we have a 3-way race going on here, but we can, it says vote for not more than 2, so we can vote for 2 of these different guys. We have Jessica R. Bigley Holly Goodline, and Rachel Wade. So we have 3 women running against each other. On the other school board race, we have 2 women running against each other. So, dude, the school boards are typically going to be female dominated. I don't know why men don't care about school boards that much, but I mean, it's 2 women, 3 women on the school boards. Crazy. I mean, good for them. I'm not saying like I care about the gender or anything. I'm just saying because typically in other races they can be male dominated, but on the school board races they're typically female dominated, which is a pretty interesting thing to point out. However, the Geeky Gangsters endorsement goes to Jessica R. Bigley. Once again, this is a case scenario where I tried to look up all of their social medias to see the vibes, and I don't believe that I could find the bottom 2 on social media. And Jessica R. Bigley was actually, she's actually Polish. She has a Polish birth name, and then she moved here and married an American. So, based, Slava Polansky! Slava Polansky! I'm voting for her just because she's Polish. I believe that we should have more Polish people on Lakeshore's school board. Board member for Bridgman Public School, 6-year term, vote for not more than 2. So we can vote for both of these people if we want to. Eric D. Romero and Taisha Roberts versus Eric D. Romero. Again, none of the school board members are political party affiliated. But the Geeky Gangsters endorsement goes to Eric D. Romero. Guys, this was a very simple pick for me. I mean, my name is also Eric. This guy's name is Eric. And he's the only man on my ballot that's ran for a school board position. So we gotta stick for the men here. We have to stick with the Erics here. And we have to vote for Eric D. Romero. I'm sure he'll make some alright decisions for the Bridgman School Board. Coming in at the next race, we have the clerk at a 4-year term. Vote for not more than once. We have to select a winner here. Jessica Jackson coming in for the Democratic Party, going up against Stacy Lore Porter for the Republican Party. The Geeky Gangsters endorsement is proud to go to Stacy Lore Porter, the Republican nominee for clerk. Going to be a 4-year term. I think the Republicans are just better at being clerks than the liberals are, personally. And so I gave it to Stacy Lore Porter. Okay, now this is going to be an exciting race, guys. We have the sheriff. Dude, county sheriff, dude. The county sheriff is so exciting. Back in the Wild West, they're like, I'm the sheriff around here. And they're kind of the same way today, which is pretty cool. We have Chuck Hates running as the Republican. Or it might be Heights. Maybe it's Chuck Heights, but not Hates. I think I pronounced that wrong. Versus Al DiBrito, coming in with no party affiliation. The Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse. My vape. One second, I gotta grab my vape. Ugh. For the county sheriff, the Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse Al DiBrito. You know, I think Chuck Hates has been the sheriff for a long time. At least this guy's ran for sheriff at least a lot. And I think Al DiBrito is kind of a new voice in the sheriff game. Not party affiliated, is pretty base for a sheriff, I feel like. I don't know if I want like a super, Trump supporting dude as the sheriff. I think that can be a little bit dangerous. I don't think I have necessarily a lot of trust for hardcore MAGA conservative county sheriffs. Someone who's going to be sitting in his squad car on TikTok. You ever see those people sitting in their squad cars on TikTok, guys going, "What's up, Cheryl? Yep. Trump 2024, brother. Yep. Gonna pull me over some folks speeding today. Yep." And I don't think I would necessarily want that as my sheriff. So I'm going to be voting for Al DiBrito. And guys, I forgot to say this. A lot of people think that if I'm not voting for their guy, I'm voting against their guy, and that might be the truth. But you know what? I'm voting bipartisan in this election. I'm voting for lots of different parties. I'm voting for two different parties, so I'm switching it up quite a lot. And so, I'm going to be with you on some of these things. I'm going to be against you on some of these things. But that doesn't mean that we have to hate each other. So don't leave me any negative comments. If you leave me a negative comment, I don't like you. I don't like you if you leave me negative comments. But it's okay. You're welcome to stay anyways. Even if you do leave hate comments, you're welcome to stay. Oh, this is another exciting race, boys. A race to really pay attention to. We have the prosecuting attorney. We have Trevor M. Mavsall. Guys, sorry, the screenshot's making the names a little bit blurry, so it's kind of hard to read some of these names. But my boy Trevor is representing the Democratic Party for prosecuting attorney. And coming in on the opposing side for the Republicans, we have Amy Bird. Guys, clear decision. If you guys drive around in my neighborhood, you see tons and tons and tons of Amy Bird for prosecutor lawn signs. Everybody is an Amy Bird supporter. You can't go anywhere without driving past at least one Amy Bird sign, which is kind of odd for, prosecuting attorney. Typically, you don't see that many lawn signs. You go to like other states or whatever. But Amy Bird, I'm telling you, has a shit ton of support for the Republican Party, and it makes sense. You don't really want a cucked, nice guy Democrat being the prosecutor, because when that happens, a lot of like hardcore thugs get let go, and then they also become corrupted prosecutors, and then they might start going after their political opponents, and then they just want money, and you just don't want a nice guy with zero morals and zero ethics being the prosecutor. You want like. And a conservative woman is perfect because she's conservative, she's hardline, but she's also a woman, and it's a perfect equation. And you can say that's controversial, but it's obviously not too controversial because, like I said, you can't drive 3 minutes down the road anywhere in this area without seeing an Amy Bird for prosecutor. So obviously, some people feel relatively the same way that I do. That was page 1 of the ballot. Well, page 4 of the ballot, we're working our way up to page 1. Trustee for the Village of Baroda. We have Steve Hillhouse versus Kathleen Kissane. The Geeky Gangsters endorsement goes to Steve Hillhouse. I feel like I'm about to sneeze after I just rubbed my nose like that. Trustee for Village of Baroda, 4-year term. So guys, I'm not reading the same things. There are, just so you guys can see, there's the trustee that we're electing to a new 4-year term, and then the trustee that we're electing to replace like one of the bad guys, apparently. So this is for the new trustee. The new trustee of the Village of Baroda. We have a 4-way race for the Village of Baroda trustee. We have Christian Adams, Nikki Andrews, Julie Elliott, and Katie Zordell. And guys, it's a very similar thing here. I tried looking up all four of these people's social medias to see what their vibes were, because there's no party affiliation, so you can't really dig on the vibes too much from just their names. And so I thought that it was important for me to go to their social media, see what they were talking about, seeing what their vibes were. And the Geeky Gangsters endorsement goes to Katie Zordell. Woohoo! 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 Congratulations, Katie Zordell. You've won the Geeky Gangsters endorsement. Bow, 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 bow. Okay, now this is a big one. The president of the village of Baroda. So this is basically like the mayor, but if you live in a village, they call it the president of the village, aka the mayor. Coming in, we have Donnie Johnson II versus Michael Price in the three-way race, with the third contender being Milt Sliclear. The Geeky Gangsters endorsement goes to Donnie Johnson II. He was so great, they had to make a second one of that guy. Again, this is a social media case when you come down that far, and the other two I couldn't find their social medias, and Donnie Johnson was pretty based on Twitter. He was sharing lots of good memes, and so I felt like, you just get a good guy with some nice character. I think he was, at least at one point, a cop. He had like a little badge with like the back the blue line or whatever on there. So I think he was at one point a cop, and now, he's just I think he's an older gentleman now, and he shares, boomer humor on Twitter. And it's pretty based compared to the other two. So I'm going to be voting for Donnie Johnson II for president of Village of Baroda. Okay, we have a few boring ones to go through before we get to the super duper exciting stuff, guys. Just hit the vape with me. Let's just get through these boring ones real quick. My vape's dead. Ooh, almost found my pop. Governor of Wayne State University. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 9-way race. We have 9 different people trying to become the governor of Wayne State University. The person making the decisions for the university. We have 9 different people trying to get at that. There's more people running for governor of Wayne State University than there is for president. However, we can vote for 2 of them. So the nominees are Rasha Damagesha, Mark T. Gaffney, Michael Basito, Sonny Ratty, Fareed Isaac, William Moore II, Sarnell McCule, Suzanne Rohing, and Kathleen Elkford. I'll just make this really quick and simple for you guys. The Geeky Gangsters endorsement is going to 2 different candidates, Michael Basito and Sonny Ratty. Change your mind, guys. So I'm endorsing Michael Basito, the Republican, and Fareed Isaac, the Libertarian, which brings us as 3 different parties voted for this election. We have Republicans, Democrats, and Republicans. Republicans, Democrats, and Libertarians. People screaming outside of my house. Dude, my neighbors are so fucking loud, bro. All day long. They have their yelping ass dog out there. And they spend all day working on some fucking truck. And they're constantly screaming at the thing. Hey, there's a dog yelping. I don't know if you guys heard that. Coming in our next race, we have trustee of Michigan State University. This is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-way race. We have Rebecca Bahir Cook. We have Thomas Stilwell III, both representing the Democratic parties. We have Mike Ballo for the Republicans, Julie Madej for the Republicans, Janet Sanger for the, Grant Baker for the Libertarians, Janet Sanger for the taxpayers, John Paul Sanger for the taxpayers, and John Anthony LaPreta. So that's kind of cute. We have a married couple running against each other in the same party, the U.S. Taxpayers Party. Kind of cute. Interesting. Wonder what made them decide to do that. Hey, babe, let's run with each other, but also against each other at the same time for the Michigan State Trustee Board as a random political party that nobody else is ever going to vote for in their lives. The U.S. taxpayers is not winning any of these. So, you just wonder what goes on in some people's houses that make them decide to run both as the U.S. taxpayers for the trustee of Michigan State University. But yeah, guys, the Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse Mike Ballo and Julie Madej for trustee of Michigan State University here. Regent of the University of Michigan. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-way race. Denise Lilich, Democrat. Shauna Ryder Diggs, Democratic Party. Carl Myers, Republican Party. Savage Vartarian, Republican Party. Andrew Shadurian, Libertarian Party. And Donna Oatman for the U.S. Taxpayers Party. For the University of Regent of the University of Michigan, the Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse Tom McMillan. Wait, wrong party, wrong race. Carl Myers and Savage Vartarian. Member of the State Board of Education. Now, this is an exciting race, guys, because these people are going to make decisions for all public schools across Michigan. The State Board of Michigan, these people are making huge decisions on your child's future, deciding what all public schools in Michigan are going to be teaching your children. So this is an important thing to be voting for. You can't really be fucking around with the State Board of Education. Gotta be important, voting for the good people. This is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different 8-way race, and we have 5 different parties across 8 different people. You can vote for 2 of them if you'd like. Theodore Jones, representing the Democratic Party. Adam Frederick Zemke, representing the Democratic Party. Tom McMillan, representing the Republican Party. Nikki Snyder, representing the Republican Party. Scotty Bowman, representing the Libertarian Party. Ted Gerard, representing the U.S. Taxpayers Party. Christine S. Schwartz, representing the U.S. Taxpayers Party. Mary Ann Herring. I know Mary Ann Herring has ran for a couple of races in her past. I remember that name on the last ballot. She's running for the working class. The working class party. Zero people watching this video have ever fucking heard of the working class party in the United States. I'm just gonna keep that real with you guys. I might have said it more calmly if my vape was still alive, but my vape is dead, and so I want to kill your hopes and dreams as well. The United States working class party is not getting elected. But the Geeky Gangsters endorsement goes to Tom McMillan for the Republican Party and Nikki Snyder for the Republican Party. Republicans on the school board all day, every day. We can't have these crazy, insane, batshit liberals and people who are even further left than the Democrats. The working class is further left than the Democrats. And you want to teach my children? Get the fuck out of here. If you get elected, I'm sending my children to Catholic school, quite frankly. It's just too dangerous to be electing liberals to the state board of to any educational board, any local board. Do not be, less than I'm not telling you guys how to vote. I personally would not vote for liberals to run the school board of education. They don't have my trust. I feel like they've fallen out of the range of trusting them. For me personally, with some of the disastrous educational policies put forth by the Democratic Party. One last educational thing to get through, boys. Board member for Lake Michigan College. This is a 6-year term. There's 2 people voting, and you can vote for both of them if you'd like to. We have Joan M. Smith versus Mark D. Weber. Neither of these people are party affiliated. No local schools are party affiliated. The Geeky Gangsters endorsement goes to Mark D. Weber. Congratulations, Mark D. Weber. You have won the Geeky Gangsters endorsement for board member of Lake Michigan College. Okay, guys, finally we're getting into the exciting things. Let me take a little bit of a break, grab some M&Ms, charge my phone really quick, and then we're going to get into the very exciting finale. I don't want my phone to die for it. Let me charge it really quickly. But yeah, it'll be like 1 second. Alrighty, guys. We got refreshed. We've made it all the way through all the boring educational board members all the way across the state of Michigan. We're voting for all of them. And we've made it to the judges, baby. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. The judges, the judges, the judges, the judges. And I'm here to judge the judges because, guys, if we judge the judges too harshly, they lose their judge running to be the next judge. And the new judge will take over if we judge that judge too harshly. And if we don't judge the new judge, then the new judge takes over for the judge. And we're going to be voting for all of the judges. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 different judge-based races to vote for. The first is going to be Judge of District Court for the 5th District Court non-incumbent position. Vote for not more than 1. The first candidate for Judge of District Court is Sherry Cochran Frame, going up against Albert Mays. The Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse Albert Mays for Judge of the District Court of the 5th District. Going into our next judge race, we have Judge of Probate Court for the Berrien County Probate Court incumbent position. Vote for not more than 1. There's only 1 person running, boys. It's Brian B. Berger. So you guys have to start running for these positions. Because I'll tell you what, on a lot of these lower down ballot positions, there's only 1 person running. So they're practically dictators of that position because nobody is going to challenge them for it. And they just get it and 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 get it again until one of us steps up to the plate and say, "Hey buddy, I'm challenging you." And then we lose anyway because that person's been in power for 20 years and they don't want a new guy in power. The voters don't want the new guy in power. They want the guy they already know of in power. So, uncontested, Judge of Court of Appeals for Michigan's 3rd District, District number 3, incumbent position. Vote for not more than 2. So there's 2 people running. You can vote for both of them. We have Philip P. Mariani versus Christopher P. Yates. The Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse Philip P. Mariani. I'm voting for that guy because his name sounds cool, Philip P. Mariani. Alrighty, guys. We are getting into some super duper exciting stuff now. The page one stuff that we have all been waiting for. Starting off with legislative representative and the state legislature. So this is going to be a person that goes to Lansing and write laws for the entire state of Michigan. We have Angelina Jones, the Democrat, going up against Brad Paquette, the Republican. For Michigan's 37th district, vote for not more than one. The Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse. Let's make some noise up in here, baby. The Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse for state legislative or state representative Brad Paquette. The Republican. I really just felt like looking at the vibes and looking at the parties and looking at everything else, gender vibe parties, I feel more confident in sending Brad Paquette as my state representative for Michigan's 37th district. The Republican Brad Paquette to go to Lansing and to become my state representative.
Hi everybody, I'm Brad Paquette, and I'm looking to represent you here in the 78th District. I'm originally from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, a Yooper, but I've been down here because I've been investing in the lives of young people and their families. I've been getting geared up and prepared to become a politician because I have been learning about families, and now I'm ready to bring my platform to a higher level where I can be a bold leader for the 78th District. So many policies are made that affect people that they don't even know who they're affecting when they sign off on a policy. That is exactly what has caused me to run for state representative. Because any kind of bill or legislation that comes my way, I'm going to make sure that I'm in touch with someone that it represents or affects. I believe that being in touch with people that I represent in Lansing is the key to making bold decisions. So I'm reaching out to you to connect with me, to talk about what matters most here in the 78th District of Michigan.
Congratulations, Brad Paquette. You have won the Geeky Gangsters political endorsement. I hope this helps you on your race, baby. Woo! Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, look at this. We've made it to the last page. You guys already see the big one on there. We're getting to that in just a second. This is the Geeky Gangster political endorsement finale, baby. Oh my gosh. What do you guys want to start with? Justice of the Supreme Court or representative in Congress? We're going to go with Justice of the Supreme Court of the state of Michigan. So this is Michigan's Supreme Court, not to be conflicted with the national U.S. Supreme Court. Every state has their own Supreme Court that sort of helps decide state law and sort of determine what the state laws actually are and what they're supposed to represent. Justice of the Supreme Court incumbent position, partial term ending on January 1st, 2029. Vote for not more than one of the following candidates. We have Kira Harris Bolden and Patrick William O'Grady. The Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse for Michigan's Supreme Court Patrick William O'Grady. But going into the Justice of the Supreme Court for a full 8-year term, the second race for Michigan's Supreme Court, we have Andrew Fink versus Kimberly Ann Thomas. Now this one was easy for me. The Geeky Gangster is proud to endorse Andrew Fink. We're endorsing Andrew Fink for Michigan's Supreme Court, guys. He's overwhelmingly based. He believes in white boy summer. He believes in cookout maxing. He believes in drinking the Faygo. He believes in a Little Caesars nation for all of Michigan. He's just a proud Michigan nationalist. I love Andrew Fink so much. That guy's Twitter's overwhelmingly based. I love him. Absolutely love Andrew. And I think Andrew Fink is one of my favorite candidates on this. At least top three. At least top three is Andrew Fink. He's so based. He's just a real cookout maxer, you know. A proud Michigander, proud Michigan nationalist. I have a lot of faith in Andrew Fink.
Michiganders, we have a local high-stakes election this November. 2 open seats on our state Supreme Court. And we have a Republican and a Democrat running for each of these 2 seats, but here's the kicker. On the ballot in November, it will not tell you which is the Democrat and which is the Republican. They're listed as nonpartisan. So here is the rundown on one of those 2 seats. For our Democrat-backed candidate, we have Kimberly Ann Thomas. She is a law professor at the University of Michigan Law School, and she's the director of the Juvenile Justice Clinic. She also received her law degree from Harvard and was a Fulbright scholar. She has extensive experience representing low-income Michiganders and teaching students legal ethics. She has also been endorsed by Michigan reproductive rights groups. Running opposite Kimberly Ann Thomas, we have Republican State Representative Andrew Fink, who, by the way, is a vocal election denier. During his time as a state representative, he sponsored legislation that would ban abortion and legislation that would create a loophole allowing for the discrimination against members of the LGBTQ community on the basis of religion. So yeah, these are the 2 choices. Remember those names.
Flex my stacks from the paper to the racks. Catch me in the club, throw up bills, thumbing back. Melodies trap, bouncing heads, keep it intact. All the players in the house, put your hands to the max.
Moving into trustee. I don't even know what these things are for because, like, dude, everything else said what town it was for. This one literally just says township supervisor. It doesn't tell you what township they're supervising. And it's the same way with 4. It says township supervisor, clerk, treasurer, and trustee. All of the other 3 pages told me where they're actually representing. Every other race told me where they're representing, but these 4 don't for some reason. Just bear with me. Trustee, we have so it's vote for not more than 2, so you can vote for both of these guys. Larry G. Klug, Republican, and David P. Wolf, Republican. So this is a page 1 race, and the Republicans are running uncontended. 0 Democrats are on a page 1 race. Democrats, you guys have to step it up. You guys have to be fighting harder. You know, you're letting your opponents run uncontended on a page 1 race. This is one of the top 7 most important races in the state of Michigan. A page 1 race, and you're letting your opponent run uncontended. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. However, we're voting for David P. Wolf. I'm not voting for both of them. I'm just voting for David P. Wolf. I thought he was pretty based and pretty cool and pretty epic and pretty poggers. I vibed with him. Vibed. So treasurer is actually uncontended. It's going to be William G. Hurst, and with no party affiliation. Okay, I guess that's going to be my treasurer because all of you guys are too cowardly to go up against him. Clerk, same way, Christina Price, Republican. Okay, we're going to have a Republican woman. That's it. I mean, nobody else was willing to run against her, so we're going to have William Hurst and Christina Price. I hope you like them. Because we have no other options. Township supervisor. What township? I have no clue, but I'm voting for it, baby. We have Dennis M. Kratzer, the Republican, running up against Kenneth Penkowski. with no party affiliation. Guys, again, this is super easy for me. Slava Polanski! Slava Polanski! Slava Polanski! We have a Polish guy running for township supervisor. So the geeky gangster is proud to endorse Kenneth Pinkowski for township supervisor. More Polish representation in politics. Kenneth Pinkowski for township supervisor all the way, baby. No party affiliation. He's just Polish. He's just Polish. Kenneth Pinkowski. Slava Polanski. I love him. Love me some good old Polish representation in politics. Gotta vote for my guy, Kenneth Pinkowski. Okay, we've entered our top 3 biggest races of the US election cycle, baby. Woo! We have US. Let me fix the lighting real quick. For representative in the United States Congress, representing Michigan's 5th district. So guys, this is going to be the person that goes to Washington, D.C. and serves in the United States House of Representatives, a huge position. Whoever gets elected here is going to be writing laws for the United States of America as a whole. They're going to be introducing new laws, new bills, new legislature for the United States, but they also are very, very, very impactful over your district and over your state as well. They have a shit ton of influence. A lot of it. And it's going to be a 3-way race for United States House of Representatives for Michigan's 5th district. We have Libby Urban representing the Democratic Party. We have Tim Walberg representing the Republican Party. And we have James Bronk representing the Green Party for United States House of Representatives. And the geeky gangsters endorsement goes to Libby Urban, the Democratic candidate for United States House of Representatives. Tim Walberg has been in there for a long time. I feel like, at least his name is pretty popular around these parts, around these streets. Everybody knows who Tim Walberg is. If you've ever voted, you've seen that guy's name before. But he's an old fucker. And he's overly corrupt. He's an overly corrupt Jewish Israeli American politician. His pockets, are out to here, you could say. He goes into the casino and he knows he can't lose, because if he loses, he'll just take more money from the American working people. And it's okay. It's all good. But the geeky gangster is proud to endorse Libby Urban for United States House of Representatives. The liberal woman does get her to D.C. Let her do something,
Across southern Michigan, we all know prices are too high. And while big corporations are gouging families, Tim Walberg is focused on rewarding them with tax cuts and by voting to allow corporate price gouging in food and gas. But Libby Urban is focused on you. She will fight to lower costs by supporting guardrails on price gouging. Libby will fight to make corporations pay their fair share of taxes. And Libby supports making housing more affordable by providing help to first-time home buyers. As a union steelworker, Libby Urban fought like hell for her co-workers, winning higher pay, better health insurance, and job security. As a member of Congress, she'll fight like hell for you, too.
I am Libby Urban, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
The second biggest race of 2024, right up against the presidency. United States Senator. Now, guys, if you live in Michigan, guys, there are 100 senators in America. Each state gets 2. If you live in Michigan, you live in one of the most vital swing states, and you know that. The president needs to win your state, and you know that. But also, the Senate is heavily dependent on your state. Michigan is going to be heavily responsible for making the Senate lean one way or the other. When you talk about those, that 51, 49, 50, 50, 52, 48, that level of closeness in the Senate, Michigan being a swing state, we're maybe one of 3 states that are going to be deciding who controls the United States Senate for the next 2 years. And so if you live in Michigan, if you don't want to vote for president, I would highly encourage you to go out and just vote for the senator of your choosing. Actually research these people and see who's going to be fighting for the United States people, who actually has a chance of winning. Because, dude, you're literally, this vote is going to come down between a 100 people difference. It's going to be thousands of votes, and there's going to be 100 different people in the state of Michigan that decide what the Senate is going to look like, and the United States Senate is going to look like for the next 2 years. It's going to come down to 100 Michiganders. So yeah, it's a little bit important that you go out and vote for it. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry for ranting. I'm sorry for popping off at you guys and ranting. Let me just chill and relax real quick. For United States Senator, the geeky gangster is proud to endorse Elisa Slotkin, the Democratic candidate for United States. I didn't even list the rest of the candidates. I'm so retarded. We had Elisa Slotkin, the Democrat, Mike Rogers, Republican, Joseph Solis Mullen, the Libertarian, David Steen, the U.S. Taxpayers Party, Douglas P. Marsh, the Green Party, and Doug Dern, the Natural Law Party, making it a 6-way race for you guys. I'm sure you'll like one of those candidates. We also have 6 different parties, 6 different people running for United States Senator. However, I feel like my vote had to go to Elisa Slotkin, and I'll tell you guys why. I'm not going to throw my vote away on such a major race this year. I mean, it's such a vital race. I don't feel like it's in my good conscience to vote for a party that I know is not going to get 3% or more of the vote. So that sort of eliminates it to Elisa Slotkin and Mike Rogers. And I feel like Mike Rogers is a very, very, very dangerous candidate for United States Senate. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I won't say stolen. He's been donated quite generously, millions and millions and millions of dollars by the medical industry, by 5 other industries in Washington D.C., unions, whatever. They've given Mike Rogers millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. His his net worth does not really line up with his income at all. He makes about $100,000 a year, and yet he has a gigantic mansion in Florida as well as a home in Michigan. Just an overly corrupt guy. He's taken millions of dollars from especially the drug industry in the United States to basically sell Michiganders out and purposely pass laws that he knew was going to hurt Michigan people, and he's taken tens of millions of dollars just to be a corrupt senator. And I feel like Elisa Slotkin, even though I disagree with her on some things, I feel like she genuinely loves the state of Michigan. She's a proud Michigander. I don't think she takes that much money from elitists. I could be wrong on that. But it just seems like she's in it for the right reasons, and Mike Rogers is in it for the wrong reasons, just in my opinion. So I have to give my endorsement to Elisa Slotkin, the Democratic candidate for United States Senate. Now, what you've all been waiting for, the presidential election and vice president election of the United States. Vote for not more than one. Here are the candidates on the Michigan ballot for the president of the United States of America. You're going to have Kamala D. Harris and Tim Walz teaming up with each other as the Democratic Party. You're going to have Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance representing the Republican Party. You're going to have Chase Oliver and Mike Tier Matt representing the Libertarian Party. You're going to have Randall Terry and Stephen E. Broden representing the U.S. Taxpayers Party. You're going to have the infamous Jill Stein and Rudolph Ware representing the Green Party. You're going to have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert Kennedy Jr. requested to be taken off the Michigan ballot, and Michigan said, no, we're not taking you off. You're going to be forced to run for president this year. The Supreme Court was a little bit corrupt in my opinion in that decision to say that Robert Kennedy is forced to run for president, even though he requested to have his name taken off of the ballot before the ballots were made. So I'm not sure what the big deal would have been. But yeah, that's an interesting thing that he requested to have his name taken off of the ballot, and Michigan forced him to run for president in our state and kept his name on the ballot as the Natural Law Party, which is also interesting because he was running independent, and then he said that he was going to be on the Libertarian ticket in some states, and now you see him as the Natural Law Party. And we have Joseph Kishore and Jerry White with no party affiliation. And then we have also the infamous Cornel West and Melina Abdullah as no party affiliation. Guys, if you guys don't know who Cornel West is, he's a big-time socialist activist. Actually, Joseph Kishore, I believe, is also a big-time socialist activist. If you look at both of their Twitters, they're both insane. Cornel West, though, has gone viral numerous times for, like, fighting the cops or whatever. And he's just like, oh, hell yeah, socialism, brother. He believes in like a $25, $30 minimum wage. He's just going to raise the minimum wage by like $100 every single year. And we're going to have infinite inflation under his president. I mean, he's not going to fucking become president. He's had like 0.2% of the votes. But yeah, he's famous for fighting the cops, wanting socialism, and wanting infinite minimum wages. So like, we're just going to constantly... So in like 4 years of a Cornel West president, everybody will be making $1 million an hour. But I mean, a loaf of bread will cost $750,000 an hour. So you know what I mean. It's just a batshit crazy dude Cornel West is. So using the process of elimination, we can we're not voting for Cornel West. We're not voting for Joseph Kishore. We're not voting for Robert Kennedy Jr., although I had some plans to, but he dropped out and endorsed somebody else. Jill Stein is another infamous lady. This chick has ran for the Green Party like fucking 15 times. She's tried to become president under the Green Party, and she's never gotten more than 1% of the vote. And she just fucking keeps still going at it. Like, the Green Party people love this woman. The people who are too left for the Democrats fucking love Jill Stein for whatever reason. They just fucking love Jill. They just fucking love Jill Stein, bro. Like, all of your hardcore leftists, they love Jill Stein for some reason. And it doesn't make sense. Randall Terry for the U.S. Taxpayers Party is a nobody. Chase Oliver for the Libertarians is a pretty popular Libertarian. I can see him getting 3.5% of the vote, probably. He's definitely popular in Michigan, which could hurt Trump's chances, because anytime you have a libertarian candidate that's popular in a swing state, it's going to hurt the Republican. But the main two candidates are obviously Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump. And the geeky gangster is proud to endorse Donald J. Trump for president in 2024. Basically just over Kamala Harris. I wasn't really paying attention to any of those other candidates, especially after Robert Kennedy dropped out. Yeah, guys, I'm going to be endorsing Donald J. Trump. Definitely wasn't my first pick. Like I said, I wanted to vote for Robert Kennedy for a long time. I was thinking about voting for Robert Kennedy. I wanted to vote for Vivek Ramaswamy. I would have preferred if anybody else won the primary election in the Republican primary. I would have preferred if anybody else won the Democratic election and then the Democratic primary. I think it's two horrible candidates going against each other again. However, Kamala Harris concerns me a lot with ending the filibuster. I think some of her economic policies are horrific. And the fact that she's just such an overly corrupt prosecutor, she's literally put men on death row, which she knew at the time, admittedly, were innocent, and she put them on death row just so she could get more power and more money and more power. And so she's just been an overly corrupt prosecutor, and this is coming at a time where the lawyers union in Washington, D.C. is overly corrupted, and we're seeing just a lot of politics in our law system and in our prosecuting system and in our lawyering system, and we're seeing a lot of political prosecutions happen across the United States and across the globe. Donald Trump, Andrew Tate, Alex Jones, a lot of these political prosecution cases. And we're just going to see, it's becoming rapid that we're seeing more and more as well. And I personally believe that electing a corrupted prosecutor as the president of the United States would be absolutely devastating, not only for law in the United States, but for law across the globe, because those two things typically trend with each other. The globe trends behind the United States. And when we have a lot of when our law becomes corrupted, that's actually like a number one issue, or at least it should be for you guys, when we have, horrible legal system in the United States. Biden was one of the least partisan presidents in history. The Biden administration did not work on prison justice or prison reform at all. The Biden administration did not care, and Kamala Harris was right there, so she could have encouraged Biden, to start caring about those sort of things. As a prosecutor, she knows a lot of different, legal cases in the United States, and she didn't encourage Biden to fight for a single one of them. So she's continued to stand by and allow injustices to occur at our prison systems and in our legal systems and in our court systems as well. And I can't bring myself to vote for her, basically strictly on that. I also do not trust Kamala Harris on immigration at all. I believe that Donald Trump is going to be much better on immigration. But for me, my number one issue this year is definitely our legal system. Trump pardoned, I believe it was 27 times more people than Joe Biden pardoned. Donald Trump did fight for prison reform. Donald Trump was willing to have those conversations about our legal system. He just sat down with Theo Vaughn a few months ago and had a 2-hour long conversation basically just about that. But he also had Kanye West in the Oval Office. He had numerous other experts on the legal system. And Donald Trump is willing to fight for prison reform and for justice and for a fair and just legal system, and he's willing to also keep the legal system in check in the United States. And so that's definitely my number one, is keeping a fair and just legal system. And I worry a lot about Kamala Harris when it comes to that, and immigration as well. I believe that we have to defend our country. I believe that we have to keep our borders. I believe that our country has to exist as a country. And I believe that all countries should exist. And so I believe that having borders all across the globe for every country is important. And I also just do not trust Kamala Harris at all whatsoever. I have like zero trust in Kamala Harris to secure our border, to have any sort of good immigration policies whatsoever. She's obviously going to let in tens of millions of more immigrants. And I think that's just going to kill the United States at one point or another, because we can't really keep up with that. It's already devastating all of our financial aid programs. If you talk about welfare, you talk about EBT, you talk about anything else where American citizens are applying for aid, and illegal immigrants are taking a vast majority of the aid that would be available to legal citizens. And I just don't think that's fair. So I don't trust Kamala Harris at all in that. So it's really two things. It's the legal system and it's the immigration that really drive me to vote for Donald Trump. Also, religious purposes. Donald Trump celebrated Mary's birthday. Donald Trump celebrated. Oh, my computer just died. So my light just died. That's great. That's great. But Donald Trump celebrated Mary's birthday, and he celebrated the holy feast of Saint Michael the Archangel. And he's sort of been fighting for Catholic values as well as Catholic representation. And he's a good friend of the Catholic community in the United States throughout. And so I trust Donald Trump more on religious issues than I trust Kamala Harris. So it's really like those top three things is the reasoning for me voting for Donald J. Trump. But I hope you guys enjoyed listening to all of my political endorsements. I hope you guys get out and vote. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.